Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Today I'm giving you my impressions of one military camp. This is made by devs called Abbey Light Barcelona. It is out now and will cost $24.99 in Steam Early Access. So what is this game? Well, it's a single player management game that sees you construct and manage your own army base. The best way to think of this game is a bit like 2 Point Hospital. It is in no way, shape or form an RTS or combat game. So if that's what you're looking for, just walk away now. Before we get into the review, don't forget, if you've enjoyed this video by the end, drop it a like, comment below to let me know what you think, and subscribe for more content. Right, let's start off with the graphics, audio and bugs. The art style definitely lends more to a mobile game slash comedy game like 2 Point Hospital, with loads of animations going on. You can zoom into each of the buildings and you'll see the everyday going on of your camp. Then you'll see new recruits being put through the paces, going for food, sleeping and training. And it's all offset with this like big cartoony art style with like the drill instructor and the baddies and the villagers and stuff like that. When it comes to audio, there is like a military style music in the background. However, this just got way too repetitive. And to be fair, I turned it off pretty quickly. As you zoom into each of the buildings, there are sound effects to accompany the animations, but I would have liked way more ambient noise here when zoomed out. Like, you're supposed to be on an active military base. So I would have liked to seen like here helicopters, tanks, trucks, marching, drill sergeants, all that sort of thing, and none of that's there. It's just a wind blowing. That's all you can hear. There are also no voiceovers, so like the drill sergeant who gives you your missions and kind of talks to you and tells you what to do, he's just like, hey, ooh, like that as he's talking, and you'll say like one word and then text comes up, and again, it's just a bit too mobile-y. I think we've moved past that. Either have nothing, or even just like speeded up noises, or just something to make it a little bit more interesting. Because to be fair, I just ended up skipping all conversations because they weren't interesting, and also there was no comedy elements there at all. I don't think I smiled once while listening to a conversation. However, I am happy to report I didn't see a single bug, so there's that. Gameplay. So at its base level, you just need to build and manage your very own military base, while also recruiting troops, setting them on training schedules and then specialize them. That's kind of the core loop. Then you send them on to missions. The building is kind of on the basic side. Everything is predetermined. There's no free thinking here. There's no building certain areas, customizing them, making them different shapes or sizes or whatever. You can rotate them and kind of that's it. You can put pathways down, but again, I would love to see this expanded to runways, tankways, drill areas, parade areas, and seeing your troops do things like that, but there's none of that in the game at the moment. There is decorations you can put around your base, and there's like happiness things as well, so you can put like cinemas and bowling alleys and stuff down. But I never felt any real need to put any of these down, especially decorations. I might put a couple of lights around and stuff. So yeah, I never felt any real need to put any decorations down, but I've seen some of the pictures of what you can make your base like, and some people might find that interesting. Also, you can't move a building, you have to destroy it, which is just a cardinal sin. Let me move a building. You also have to maintain the buildings and keep warehouses stocked in order to keep them operating. So say your electricity things need petrol or whatever they use, and then you have to keep stocking that up. You have to set up canteens and hospitals to treat the wounded and keep your soldiers fed. There is a day and night kind of cycle, so you don't want everyone on daytime, because then at nighttime, there's no one doing the work. So you have to contend with that. And finally, we have like kind of the 2 Point Hospital comedy style graphics. When you zoom into a building, you'll see them like using tanks and guns and running around in circles and doing things. And to be fair, I quite liked the way that looked, and it reminded me very much of them theme hospitals and stuff like that. So how does the main gameplay loop work? Well, you have a recruitment center and people turn up one every 30 seconds, which leads to the most annoying noise in this game, especially when you have the music turned off. You just hear the beep of the bus turning up constantly every 30 seconds. It gets really annoying. So how does the main gameplay loop work? Well, you have a recruitment center. People turn up once every 30 seconds, and then you can assign them into roles. So they can become your privates, your chefs, your doctors, maintenance and defense, stuff like that. You set them what you want them to be, click hire, and then they're yours. And then you have to provide them a relevant building and a house or barracks. So like the doctors and chefs and stuff all want private housing. the privates will go into a barracks. There's 4 types of training, which is intelligence, accuracy, speed, and strength. You will then set your private goal, i.e. tank crew, sniper, etc. And each of these will need some sort of training high, like kind of that training has to be higher. So say like a tank crew might need strength and accuracy. So you'll have to train that soldier in strength and accuracy to be able to specialize into tank crew. So this is all automatic. You kind of just say, right, I want you to do this training. They go off and do it for a period of time. And then once they've done that, you can change them to another training and then you can specialize them or whatever that needs. Once in the role, they will continue to kind of train in that set area. So then they'll move from generalized training into like kind of the spy area or the tank area. And then they'll just continue on with that. However, this is when I started running into issues with the game and my enjoyment started to go down. So first, let's touch on the economy. So you make money by doing missions and capturing territory. You lose money by hiring people, as they will always cost money. I always found myself in the red, even when being quite careful, and this can lead to some problems and annoyances and soft blocking. Because the mission structure, which I'll come on in a bit, that's how you make your money. But if you can't really afford, or you haven't got the resources or whatever, or it's getting close to nighttime when your finances reset, like you can kind of get soft blocked because it's the only way to make money. There's no other way to make money apart from selling buildings. I think there could be another form here, like farming or making things or supply or just something like a trade thing where you could just make a little bit of money on the side from what you're doing. Missions are also not random. You can't select what mission you get, which leads to some pretty annoying issues. This is, as I said, your main source of income. And the mission might be like, right, you need 2 snipers, 3 tank people and explosives, but you don't have a sniper building. So you've now got to wait for research points to come in to get your sniper building. You've then got to build that building by paying, and you've got to power it up, that sort of thing. Then you've got to find 2 or 3 people to train into snipers, which is going to take time. Each training thing takes around about 4 to 5 minutes per person. You can put 2 or 3 in each one, though. So if you've got to have 3 different, like, special, 3 different, like, say, strength, accuracy, and speed for a role, that is 15 minutes on double speed. This isn't normal speed to get anything done. And also the mission doesn't tell you what's coming next. So during missions, you're very worried about spending your research and money because the next mission could go, right, you need this new specialist. And it does this pretty often. And you're like, oh, right. So now you got to start all that again. Wait 15 minutes, wait 20 minutes, do this and do this. And it becomes very boring in between missions. There's very little to do. And because of the way the missions are set up and it's the only way you can get money, you quite often don't want to spend because it could soft block you, which it did actually happen to me. I had to sell some buildings just to pay for it. You also have zero control outcome of the missions. Don't think this is any way, shape or form something you have control over. You pick who goes on and off they go, and they either come back failed or passed, dead or alive. There's no real impact. I think it would have worked way better instead of having 20 specialists. I think they should have had soldiers, and you would have kitted them soldiers out with better tiered equipment to increase your chances. Them specialists just don't quite work for me. I think it would have been better if you had like tier 1 soldiers, 2, 3, and 4, and then you could send all your tier 1 soldiers on tier 1 missions that would come up more often. Tier 2 would be that. And maybe specialists reserved for some sort of story mission or something. But it would be better if your soldiers ranked up and got them skills from doing missions, because then you would feel more attached to them. You'd feel like you were risking something by sending, maybe going, ooh, this is a tier 2 mission, but oh, I really want him to level up, so I'll send him on and risk it. There's none of that. So yeah, I was imagine like you had your best sniper, Ted, and you're like, oh okay, I'll send him on this mission. It's really risky, but I'll do it. In that risk, you might lose Ted, you might lose your best sniper, but there's none of that. It's all just things I can think that would just make it way better. You just have no connection or interest in the soldiers, and because you can't select a mission and you can't prepare for what's in advance, that's when you can get softlocks, because there's 20 specialist buildings and it just leads to a lot of annoyances. I would have loved to see more soldiers doing the same missions, doing fun missions, them going off and coming back better and more rugged and maybe growing a beard as they did or something, or, just make them people really interesting. And you had your raw recruits on the drill area. getting shouted at, and then they would go off and do missions, and then they would come back and maybe they'll go to a different area. Just things that could have been so much more fun. One last thing to point out, your base does get attacked. So you do have to prepare for that. But again, it feels like the ghosts in 2 Point Hospital, like they're just a mild inconvenience. You just put some defense people down and they'll spot them, or, you know, SAM sites, and they'll shoot drones down. I would have loved to have seen this being expanded on, maybe like patrol paths or placing barbed wire and traps outside your base, even if they made them funny. Like outside your base could add like crocodiles and stuff. If you wanted that comedy aspect where you could have had a bit of say about what's going on outside your base, I think that would have been way, way better. I feel like it would have meant something to protect your base and give you some element of danger maybe. So yeah, my final thoughts on this game is I think this game would have just been better suited to be like a mobile idle clicker. You know, something like Simpsons Tapped Out? I think it would have worked absolutely great. On PC, I don't want to be sitting there for 8 or 9 minutes waiting for some training or someone to specialize or just whatever's going on with not much to do in between. Like, I've just sat there on double speed, just doing nothing, sitting on my phone, looking at web pages, and that's not what a game is for me. There needs to be way, way more to do during the downtime. More interactions, better interactions, and meaningful decisions going on. It's war. I know they're trying to make war comical here, but that's not what war is. I want a little bit more here. I just found it quite boring, and I think that was a massive shame. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to say on the matter. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all later. Goodbye.